Hello, and welcome to SLP at UCLA's first video in the video series Beginner SOLIDWORKS Tutorials. Today we'll be talking about workspace orientation and just how to move around in SOLIDWORKS efficiently. So let's start with the toolbar, which is up here at the top, where my mouse is. And we're going to start with the zoom to fit tool. So we can click the zoom to fit, and it'll just zoom into the part if we're farther away. If we're too close, it'll zoom out. You can also do this with the F key. It'll make the same adjustment. Next, we can take a look at the zoom to area. And you can read all the descriptions on your own if you're more interested in doing that, but I'm just going to show you what it does here. Zoom to area, now my mouse becomes a magnifying glass with a box. And if I click and drag, it'll give me this box, and it'll zoom into where the plus is in the middle of the box. So it zooms back out here. And I can click the zoom to fit to get out of that. But you see I still have this, or the zoom to area tool as my mouse. And what if I want to click on this? I can't really click on it. So what you can do is you can right click and get this toolbar. You can reselect the select thing, and now I can click on that face. Now we're going to take a look at the previous view, which is also pretty self-explanatory. If I zoom in here, previous view is just going to give me the last place before I did any zooming. So I can zoom out back to where I was initially. If I do like this, it'll bring it back to the center. Now we're going to take a look at the section view, and this will be helpful with more in-depth parts that have complex interiors. But we can take a look here, section view, and we can choose where the section is. We can bring it out further, we can rotate it around. You can see I have a hole going through the back of this. So if I needed to see the inside of the hole while I'm working on something, that would be really helpful with the section view. So I can do this, and it'll remain sectioned off like that until I click the section view button again, and then it goes back to normal. And then we're going to skip the dynamic annotation views because they're not very helpful right now. But we're going to look at this view orientation. So if we click on that, you see we get this box around here. And the box is pretty helpful. You can click on one of the faces of the box, on the corners or the edges, and it'll bring you to a view normal to that face. So if I click on this one, it'll bring me to the front. If I click on the corner, it'll bring me to the corner. So all that. And you may be wondering how I've been able to, pan around or rotate like this. And that's, I'm doing that by holding down the middle mouse button to rotate. So that this is me holding down the middle mouse button. It turns my cursor into the rotate icon, and I'm rotating around. And if I hold down Control and the middle mouse button, that's when I get to pan. And that's going to be, the cursor becomes a little moving thing. So I can move it around linearly. And this would be like rotationally. Another thing you can do with this view orientation is you can click the spacebar. And you can see I get the same box that I get with the view orientation. I also get this over here, which is more tools and stuff that we're just not going to look up very much right now. But spacebar is an easy way to get to the view orientation without having to click the view orientation. And now if we come over here and take a look at the timeline, this is called the timeline over here. If we take a look at this, if we want to zoom to this chamfer that I made, right? That's a chamfer is when you cut off a corner and make it flat like that. So if I want to zoom to this chamfer, maybe I'm all the way out here, and I want to zoom in really quickly, what I can do is zoom to selection. Click on that, it'll zoom right up to the chamfer. And then another thing I can do is I can find this boss extrude, right? That's how I created one of these halves of the thing. If I click on this and I say normal to, it'll bring me normal or perpendicular to whatever the feature is that I just clicked on. So again, if I right click and press normal to, it'll bring me normal to wherever I created that feature. And that's all I have for you guys today. So feel free to check out the other videos in this playlist. Hopefully give you some more details about how to use SOLIDWORKS. And I hope you learned something today, and have a great day.